So all the panelists are in.
Yes.
So I'll just do a quick intro and then roll call of the panelists, and then I call on Rina. And then tuloy-tuloy na yun. After Rina ends, I call on Jay, Maravilla, and then Neri.
Okay.
Okay, we're all set? Are we all set, Raisa?
Yes, I'm set.
Yes.
We're good. We're good. Okay.
All the panelists are ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes po. Go.
Oh, yeah.
Showtime.
Go
Okay.
ahead, Sunny. Just introduce
Good
yourself.
afternoon. In behalf of Governor Chacha Camacho and Rotary International District 3830, this is your moderator, Sunny Coloma, together with my co-moderator, Marge Lamberte, welcoming you all to this Rotary Town Hall on distance learning in the COVID-19 environment. What we can do to make it better. September is Basic Education and Literacy Month in Rotary. Basic education and literacy is one of the areas of focus of Rotary. This means that Rotary International, through its clubs and Rotarians, place special emphasis on the significance of educating our youth. And this is why significant resources are also devoted by Rotary through the Rotary Foundation and the work of its clubs to projects that seek to improve the quality of basic education and literacy. That is the subject of our town hall this afternoon. We want to discover new ways of implementing distance learning, as this is a fresh development that was brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic. Our objective in this afternoon's town hall is simply to discover new and better ways of implementing distance learning so that we could enable our young students in basic education, that's kindergarten, grade school, and high school, to chart new directions of learning in this very challenging environment. Our panelists this afternoon are, in the order that they will be presenting, the founder and president of Knowledge Channel Foundation Incorporated and the president-elect of the Rotary Club of Makati Premier District, Rina Lopez Bautista. She will give an overview of the learning continuity plan of the Department of Education, which sets the backdrop for the blended learning modality that is going to be implemented this school year. After Rina's overview, we shall listen to a parent and a teacher. The teacher is Jay Marivilla. The parent is Neri Sales. Both of them are Rotarians from the Rotary Club of Puerto Princesa Central, and they will share with us their first-person accounts or experiences on how parents and teachers.
Good afternoon, Ed.
And after Jay and Neri shall have shared their experiences, we will call on several resource persons to respond to the challenges they may have cited. And our resource panelists are the principal of the Parañaque Elementary School, Unit 2, Ms. Myla Velasquez. We shall call on Rina again to share with us the programs of Knowledge Channel. She will be followed by Danny Carandang, owner and administrator of the Master School in Alabang and charter president of Alabang of RC Malabang Madrigal Business Park. After Danny, we shall hear from Jaton Sulweta, the founder and president of AHA Learning Center, and a 2018 TOYM awardee. He will be followed by Michelle Padrelanan. Michelle is a parent, founder of Educating for Life, and she belongs to the Rotary Club of Sun Valley Sunrise. We shall also hear from Attorney Reggie Nolido, Principal of the Nolido Law Office and past President of the Rotary Club of Makati. And Reggie will share with us a project of RC Makati that seeks to develop reading skills of young children. And after Reggie, we shall hear from Mabel Esteban, past president of the Rotary Club of Makati, Paseo de Rojas, who will also share some information on how Rotary clubs could assist the stakeholders in terms of funding support from the Rotary Foundation. So we have a full agenda ahead of us. We'd like to welcome all of those who are on Zoom and on Facebook who have joined us in this town hall. Let's have a very exciting journey of learning and discovery. May I now call on Ms. Rina Lopez Bautista of the Knowledge Channel to give us the overview. Rina?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Gov Sani, Gov Chacha, Marge, to all Rotarians, non-Rotarians, teachers and principals. Good afternoon. I'm Rina Lopez Bautista, President and Executive Director of the Knowledge Channel Foundation and Charter Member of Rotary Club of Makati Premier District. We come together in this town hall as we seek to find solutions to concerns, particularly of parents, related to the opening of a new school year amid the COVID-19 pandemic. With face-to-face classes pushed to next year, the Department of Education has made it clear to implement distance learning starting October 5 to ensure learning will continue despite the pandemic. This can be found in DEPED's Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan and in the memorandum issued by Undersecretary Diosdado San Antonio on suggested strategies in implementing distance learning delivery modalities for school year 2020 to 2021. As you can see in this infographic, can I have the next slide, please? There is distance learning where children will access text modules online for those with devices and internet connection. There is distance learning with offline text modules for those with devices, but with limited or no access to the internet. There is distance learning with printed text modules combined with TV and or radio lessons for those with access to either or both of these media. There is blended distance learning where a combination of earlier mentioned modalities are utilized. It can be a combination of modules, online, offline, and use of TV and or radio. And there is distance learning through printed modules for the vast majority of the learners in the country. So the printed modules are really what is like mostly standard, no? And what is really used. As in the past, pre-COVID, there is still homeschooling for parents who are qualified and can teach their children through this modality. And I will also hear about that later on. DEPED, next slide please, conducted a learner enrollment survey last June. And it is important to highlight that most enrollees have access to smartphones and basic phones. A considerable number have access to TV. Among those, 2.2 million have access to cable TV, and around 3 million have access to free TV. Close to 3 million have access to the internet at home, and almost and also important to note that 1.8 million have no access to any of these gadgets, devices, and to internet. There are questions that we may ask here, like quality-wise, how efficient, reliable, and sustainable are the access to the internet? How about the quality, quantity in families or households and serviceability of these devices and gadgets? Will one student share his or her mother's and father's phone with the latter and his or her siblings? So despite the figures we saw in the previous slide, next slide please, it's important to note that an overwhelming number prefer printed modules. And around 4 million prefer blended, 1.4 million prefer TV. These numbers, though, are on a national scale, and while each area or region has its own preferences. A school or schools division or region's learning continuity plan is to follow also the varying context of the learners, parents, teachers, and available resources in their areas. Thus, except for the information that the entire country is doing modular distance learning through print, no generalization may be made on schools or bigger areas related to the use of other modalities. What is important to know here is that DEPED has asked the teachers not just to use text modules, but to also augment it with audio and video-based resources for many of the young learners who could and would learn better with audiovisual resources. Just briefly, let me show 2 examples of how the learning continuity plan is contextualized in various areas. One example is a Navo School in a Box of DEPED Navotas, where they implement blended learning through modular, printed modules delivered to the homes of learners and online approaches. Use of Facebook Messenger to check on receipt and use of modules, and for weekly engagement or interaction with learners and parents. Another one is LR on Wheels of DEPED Sarangani, where Kalay IP School will distribute gadgets and local area network connection to the learners. Other uses, the Schools Division Office of Marikina will include video lessons of Knowledge Channel in their learning modules. And also the Schools Division Offices of Marikina and Makati will include the Knowledge Channel video lessons in their LMS, or their learning management system. The SDO, or the Schools Division Office of Kabangkalan in Negros, will also include our video lessons in their learning continuity plan, their weekly learning continuity plan. So these are just some examples that we can that are being done for the distance learning and the blended learning approaches. Given these different approaches and opportunities in helping address specific learning challenges, what can we do to help the parents, learners, and teachers? How can we help to make learning really happen this year? Let's listen to all our various speakers today. Thank you. Sonny, back to you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Rina, for that very comprehensive and focused overview. The first part of our forum is to understand the challenge that is facing the different stakeholders. And to help us understand this challenge are 2 Rotarians from Palawan. The first is a teacher from the Puerto Princesa City National Science High School, and I'm referring to our Rotarian from the Rotary Club of Puerto Princesa, J. Maravilla. And after J, we shall call on a parent, also a Rotarian from RC Puerto Princesa Central, Nerissa Sales. We'll now hear from teacher J. Maravilla.
Yes,
Go ahead,
good
Jay.
afternoon all. Good afternoon to all. And I'm so happy to be invited here and to be part of this town hall discussion on distance learning. Opo. Now, let me give you a brief background po. I only have 5 minutes. Puerto Princesa City National Science High School is a premier school in Puerto Princesa, home of the academic champions in the province, region, and even in the national arena. We have at present 620 students from grade 7 to grade 12. We cater to senior high school academic track with STEM, UMS, and ABM, and we have 30 teachers all in all. Um, During the first part of the preparation, this was expecting the opening for June. No, we were already set in preparing for a face-to-face uh, class. No, and then here comes the mandate from the government that there should be no face-to-face, and we were all thinking, how are we going to do that? Then came the enrollment through the LESF, or Learners Enrollment and Survey Form. There was a survey towards the end of the enrollment. We were able to identify what kind of modality our school will going to use, and we were able to zero in on blended distance learning. Because if we say blended learning only, there's still the face-to-face. No, but this time it is blended distance learning. So we have the modular and then the online fused into one. So that's our first challenge. The next challenge is who will implement it. Definitely, the teachers are very hesitant, no, because number one, we are in a science high school, and most of the students are well equipped when it comes to computer compared to the teachers. No, so we were able to come up with built-in trainings with the use of learning management system, LMS, strategies in teaching using the internet. We were able to come up with schedule of classes, teachers, okay, because Puerto Princesa City National Science High School is still a public school under the DEPED. Then the third challenge is how to implement it. When we started with our simulation for online learning, problems arise. You have the internet accessibility for the teachers and the students. Um, then most of the concerns of the parents would be the budget of time of the subjects. How are we going to implement? So basically, it's more of the capacitating the teacher on how to teach using online. That's the first one challenge that we need to hurdle. Then the students' concern, uh, as basic as, are we still going to wake up the same time? Are we still going to have the usual routine that we would have in a face-to-face class vis-a-vis to an online class? That's the challenge of the students. Then the last challenge that we have, who will help? Um, that is why we came up with a lot of we were asking for help from different stakeholders, because in our survey, um, out of 620 students, around 50, 50 or 60 students doesn't have access to gadget other than cell phone. And 20 students signify that they really don't have internet signal or access to internet at all. So yun yung ano namin talaga, na how are we going to provide to these learners. That is why kailangan pa rin namin ng mga modular learning delivery. So right now, I am part of the writer of modules coming from the central office, also from the division. We are making the different modules. Pagdating dito sa division, printing is ongoing, pero yung budget of time talaga, no, kulang yung printers, kulang yung manpower sa teacher, marami pang hindi talaga gamay kung paano gawin yung online teaching. Kaya ito yung mga challenges namin ngayon, speaking in behalf of public school system dito po sa Puerto Princesa City. That's all. Thank you.
Maraming salamat. Thank you very much, Jay, for sharing your experience. Kahit pala relatively well-equipped yung Puerto Princesa City National Science High School, meron pa rin kayong challenges doon. No? So ganun talaga siguro, no? Dahil for the first time ito sinusubukan ng ating educational system. Now let's hear from another parent, a parent from Puerto Princesa, Neri Sales. Neri? Go ahead, Neri.
Mute siguro.
Hello?
Go ahead. Go ahead. We
Okay.
can hear you, Neri.
Okay. And I'd like to share some challenges that we have encountered from the view of a parent naman during this pandemic through this what we call the distance learning program. So my kids went back to school this year. Actually, we are on our second week na. And it's like, so many adjustment po talaga. So before it all started, sometime March, parang ni-lockdown yung country, and then the school year didn't end normally also. So during that ECQ, me and my husband was already preparing on what to do, and we have considered already the worst scenarios to happen in terms of our children's education. So actually, I've listed the challenges and I have categorized it into two. One is the challenge for us as a parent and the challenges for our kids. So I have two kids, one in a grade school. She is in grade six, and the other one is in preschool, kinder two. So the first thing that we are most concerned about is first the type of learning that they're going to adopt now, because they're from a big school and there is an actual interface with the teachers and their classmates. So now, if we're going to go with distance learning and this homeschooling that they are saying, so it's like a big change for my kids. So we're particularly concerned also on how they're going to adapt with the new school environment, because it's going to be our home. So their classroom will be here in our house, and they're not going to go to playgrounds, to field trips, and all of that. So as a parent, yun yung first na concern namin. And also, one of the things that we have considered is where are we going to enroll them? Because here in Puerto Princesa, I know there's a lot of schools also, and their past school is also okay. But we also take into consideration yung mga schools in Manila. Like maybe we can do homeschooling and but there's a lot of adjustment and considerations that we have considered. And another one is for us parents naman, the challenges that we have encountered already. Of course, first, how to balance household responsibilities. Like me as a hands-on mom, and somehow I do business, and then I have to stay with my kids. I have to be there during their school activities, their sessions. I have to be there, especially for my little one. So those are the really challenging part for me. And of course, I also have to redo some workloads, and I have to schedule also my tasks. And another thing, of course, all parents right now can also relate the schoolwork after, because the school where I enrolled my kids now have this kind of this three types of approach. We have the modules, they also have online lessons, and they also have textbooks. So with that, I have to keep up. Like I was really their hands-on teacher. So parang ganun po. So I have to be technically equipped also with all the laptops and the websites that we're going to access. And every day there's Zoom meeting. And after that, in the afternoon, we have to follow the modules. We have to do their activities in their books. And that was really like time consuming for me as a working mom. And yeah, and all of that. So recently, everything is okay naman. The school somehow that we've enrolled our kids was helpful also. But every day is an adjustment. As I say, we're still in our second week, and the first week was really like um we are all adjusting, and my kids were complaining about what was going on. Why did you have to do this? So yeah, I do hope and pray that we could surpass all of this, and we get used to the new norm that this pandemic had caused us. Ayun po. I think that's all that I can share as a parent. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nerissa.
Thank
Neri
you.
and Jay, thank you very much. After you have shared with us your glimpse of the challenges, we will now go to the second part of our panel discussion, which is to focus on the response and adaptation. And our first panelist is the principal of Parañaque Elementary School, Unit 2. Let's now call on Myla Velasquez. Myla?
Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Good
Good
afternoon,
afternoon.
Myla. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
so let me share with you how Parañaque Elementary School prepares for the opening of classes set on October 5, 2020. So let's watch for my video.
Rina, there's no sound.
Can you hear it now?
None, there's still no sound.
Sorry. Tap share first and then reshare it and then click yung ano when you do. The share computer sounds at the bottom.
Ma'am, is it okay?
Can you hear me?
Hold on lang, Princess.
Okay, thank you po.
Can you hear it now?
No, wala pa. Should I share it na lang?
You have to stop share muna. I'll stop your sharing
Years
first.
for the opening of classes despite the pandemic COVID-19 and despite the challenges of the new normal situation. Guided by the principles of sulong edukalidad and hanggang isip handa bukas of the Department of Education and with the guidance of SDO Parañaque City headed by our SDS Dr.
Can you hear it,
Evangeline
Teresa?
Ginalines.
Yeah, now I
And
can hear it. Can you rewind na? Can you just rewind? Now we can hear it, but there's no.
Parañaque Elementary School Unit 2, we are doing everything we can to ensure that education continues in this
First, hold.
time, while also prioritizing the health and safety of learners, parents, and teachers. As per record of our remote and printed enrollment
Video.
year 2020-2021, only 93% of the previous school year or 1,647 learners were listed. The decrease is probably due to parents' anxieties of the current situation. However, the school is still trying to bring the 7% back before classes start.
Hold on.
Together for teachers and 12 non-teachers,
I guess there's no
our
video.
best to finalize our
Actually, lang. Rina,
learners
Rina, stop it. I'll show.
Hello po.
Our learning plans
Mag-live na lang si Myla.
Yes, we have a backup video, so my teacher Xavier can share it with you.
distributed to our schools
Hello.
7 to 8
Yeah,
years.
Rina, can you stop first? It's not, the video's not showing, only the
This is
audio.
still ongoing.
Myla daw is ready to share from her end.
Okay.
Hello. I guess Xavier, can you share our video?
There. Okay. Nagsi-screen sharing na si Saber.
Yes, po. Thank you.
There. Okay, cool.
Good day, everyone. Let me share with you how Parañaque Elementary School Unit 2 prepares for the opening of classes despite the pandemic COVID-19 and despite the challenges of the new normal situation. Guided by the principles of Sulong Edukalidad and Handang Isip Handa Bukas of the Department of Education and with the guidance of SDO Parañaque City headed by our SDS Dr. Evangeline Piladines and ASDS Dr. Violeta M. Gonzalez, at Parañaque Elementary School Unit 2, we are doing everything we can to ensure that education continues in these unprecedented times while also prioritizing the health and safety of learners, parents, and teachers. As per record of our remote and printed enrollment for school year 2020-2021, only 93% of the previous school year or 1,647 learners were listed. The decrease is probably due to parents' anxieties of the current situation. However, the school is still trying to bring the 7% back before classes start. Together with 54 teachers and 12 non-teaching personnel, we are doing our best to finalize our preparation so that learners have as easy a transition as possible. Our learning plans for the first quarter are complete and so are the modules that can be accessed in the Division Learning Portal. The printed modules for weeks 1 and 2 will be distributed to our learners starting on September 7 to 18, while the printing of modules for week 3 and 4 is still ongoing. The list of students per section as well as their class schedules are also ready. Since we will be using the modular distance learning as our modality, there will be no traditional face-to-face interaction between teachers and pupils that will happen. Instead, it will be home-based learning to take place, where parents and elders will serve as facilitators with continuous communication with the teachers. The new normal in the education lessens the personal contact with the learners, but not the learning itself. As we gear up for the implementation of blended learning methods, teachers open themselves to being learners as well. This means having to unlearn to learn, meaning unlearning old methodologies to make way for new ones that will prepare us for education's new normal. So we are very proactive in attending virtual trainings and upskilling programs, particularly on the different learning delivery platforms. To assure positive output, we started connecting with parents facilitators and help them observe the new trend. Various parents engagement activities such as training on pre-school opening activities, simulation on the utilization of learning packages, homeroom meetings, and parents' assemblies were conducted to coach them with their role as facilitators on home-based learning. While on the process, there are predicaments that we encountered. One of the challenges is the delivery of information and instruction. On a survey that we conducted, we found out that 50 to 60% of our learners have no gadgets essential to continue education on the comfort of their homes. Most of our learners are coming from families with low social economic background. To reach them out, we print information materials and deliver the printed copies to them, but it takes time to get feedback. To bridge the gap, we came up with the Project Gadget, gabay sa aral distansya para sa garantisadong edukasyon gamit ang teknolohiya. The project aims to provide learners with tablets where they can access the digital module. They can attend online classes with their teachers, get information faster, and save trees. The use of digital modules on tablets will lessen the number of printed modules. Thus, paper needs would be less, that will save a lot of trees and will save our environment. Our beloved Mayor Edwin L. Olivares will provide free Wi-Fi connection to all Parañaque learners this October as his response to our educational needs, and also tablets to kinder and grade 1 pupils. Project Gadget and Project ELO, if combined, will be very effective in achieving our goal of providing quality basic education with the new normal. Now, we are appealing for your big heart and generosity for the tablets of our grades 2 to 6 deserving pupils. Your support to our project can make a big difference to our learners. It may just be a device to anyone, but for our kids, it is their hope, their inspiration, and a door for a lot of opportunities. With a sound mind and body, we are nervous yet excited on how we can provide passionate and excellent service to our learners. There's no COVID-19 that will stop us in doing something that we can do for education to continue. Education must continue. That's what our DEPED Secretary Leonor Magtolis Briones said. Parañaque Elementary School Unit 2 dwells with hashtags passion, excellence, service, united to succeed. This is Myla R. Velasquez saying thank you for making a difference. Keep safe and God bless us all.
Thank you very much, Myla. I'm sure many of us learned many things from what you presented. Kanina lang, nung medyo may problema ka sa video, parang ang narinig kong sinabi mo, Savior, Savior, please help me. Alam ko
Wala,
na
Savior.
si Myla
So
sa
really,
Lord. Yung pala si
Savior
Savior.
saved me. Yes, it's Savior Lecaros, my Brigada Escuela coordinator.
So thank you very much, Savior, for being our Savior.
Thank you very much. I hope I have shared a lot to you, and you learned a lot from me as well. Thank you very much.
Okay, we'll get back to you, Myla, later for
Thank
the
you, Pa.
open forum. And let me now call again Rina Lopez Bautista, founder and president of the Knowledge Channel, to share with us their varied experiences, including the use of various methods of learning throughout the country. Rina?
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
yeah,
Go
your
ahead,
sound is
Rina.
clear.
Okay. The Channel Foundation has been working in the education sector since 1999. You can see here our vision and mission. For the past 21 years, we have worked with and been, sorry, we have worked with and been in the service of DEPED from the time of the late brother Andrew Gonzalez up to Secretary Leonor Briones today. You can see here on our next slide our ecosystem or pillars, and of course impact studies from UP and LaSalle showing the effectiveness of our various interventions. Next slide, please. These are our curriculum-based videos. We have the most extensive library of video lessons for Filipino children. We're also happy to share that we now have video lessons equivalent to 100% of the most essential learning competencies, or MELC, for the first and second quarters, and ongoing for the third and fourth quarter, that may be used as supplementary resources to the printed or digital modules that the schools will provide. Next slide, please. Our proposed solutions include our School at Home campaign and online training on teachers in the new normal, and the portable media library as well. Our School at Home, launched last August 14, aims to help parents, teachers, and learners for distance learning through our video lessons, which will be broadcasted on Knowledge Channel, on Sky Channel 5, and around 400 cable TV and direct-to-home satellite services. Online via the knowledgechannel.org and on I Want TFC as well. Live streaming on I Want TFC. And offline through the Knowledge Channel Portable Media Library. Next slide, please. You can see here our 24-hour TV programming grid, which covers kinder to grade 10 and the alternative learning system as well. Next slide, please. Here is a breakdown of our class schedules on TV as well. And next slide. We will air 24 hours, 7 days a week, curriculum-aligned video lessons for Filipino, math, English, Aralin Panlipunan, and science that follow the MELC's budget of work, weekly and daily as well. We have our website where video lessons are uploaded on knowledgechannel.org and live streaming via I Want TFC. Schedules of broadcast and links on our video lessons online will be uploaded on our website and social media pages, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Next slide, please. Our videos are also available offline through the Knowledge Channel Portable Media Library, or KCPML. It's a hard drive installed with more than 1,500 K-10 video lessons and hundreds of educational games, session guides, and other resources. You can donate the Knowledge Channel PMLs to schools for only 33,600 pesos. The package consists of 2 KCPMLs and a half-day online training for teachers. Next slide, please. We also have our Knowledge Channel Teaching in the New Normal, or KC-TIN 3 program for teachers and principals. This 3-day training costs 40,000 per school for 14 of the teachers and the principal. Here we workshop participants on the use of strategies to ensure better delivery of lessons and engagement of learners who will be learning in their homes. The highlight of which is a session on the effective integration into the lessons of Knowledge Channel video lessons. There's a session on stakeholder engagement that asks stakeholders like parents, LGUs, and the private sector, like Rotary clubs and other donors, to plan collaboratively on implementing and sustaining the use of KC-10. We actually had our first day of the 3-day training, which was sponsored by 6 clubs, 6 Rotary District 3830 clubs today. So it will be ongoing until Wednesday. Myla, Principal Myla, is one of the participants actually in the KC-10 3 training. Next slide, please. We also have the KC-10 1, which is a 1-day training for teaching also in the new normal, using the Knowledge Channel video lessons. So these packages are those that we are helping the schools and the teachers and learners with during the new normal. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rina. I'm sure our participants in this town hall have glimpsed many views of what it takes to deliver alternative learning methods. And after you, we shall now hear from Danny Karandang, administrator and owner of the Master School and charter president of the Rotary Club of Alabang Madrigal Business Park. Danny, can we hear from you now? Go ahead, Danny.
Hello, hi everyone. Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians and guests.
Good afternoon. Go ahead.
As a private school owner, I sympathize with the 440 private schools so far who temporarily suspended their operation, and for those who have closed their school for good. That being said, we were still continuing amidst the challenges of this COVID pandemic times, are duty bound to respond and adapt for the sake or benefit of our learners and their parents and other stakeholders like our teachers and staff. As you are aware of, we in the private schools take a complementary role in educating our youth, our young people, and we should be adapting and responding in such a way that the teaching of the most essential learning competencies as defined in DEPED is achieved. Just like in the public school sector, we have to also resort to distance online learning and our blended learning modalities to teach our learners and their parents or guardians. I'm speaking not just as a private school owner, but also as a Rotarian. And as a response, the question at hand is what we can do to make it better. As a private school, we have been reaching out to the parents and students to tailor fit their program as to their financial condition and the availability of the technology gadgets they have and the quality of internet service in their area. So just like in public school, we resort to the use of live online distance learning through a learning management system and the use of offline, home-based, digital and printed modular learning. But what we are excited about is the digital education program we have launched as a private school in partnership with the Rotary Club of Alabang Madrigal Business Park. Together with the Virtual Campus, a digital learning platform service provider, and Bounce Back Education, a subgroup of Bounce Back PH supporting entrepreneurs, professionals, and frontliners. Next slide, please. The objectives are to help ensure learning continuity through affordable home-based digital learning, help teachers acquire necessary skills and competence as a digital educators, help out of school and adult learners become employable through digital skills training. So we'd like to complement with what Knowledge Channel is doing. The program includes affordable home-based digital education, digital educator course, digital skills training. For affordable home-based digital education, next slide, the program was designed as a self-directed learning with just the parents' guidance or with the assistance of a virtual teacher. Beneficiaries are learners from low to middle income groups. For the digital education course, it is a 3-level proficiency course that equips teacher with the knowledge, skill, and aptitude to confidently and effectively use technology in digital learning environments. Beneficiaries are the private and public school teachers, the parents and guardians. For the digital skills training, it is a multi-skill training program focused on emerging technologies and industry demands. Beneficiaries are the out-of-school learners, adult learners, and out-of-school adults. Here is the opportunities for partnerships. First is the scholarship for students, teachers, and adult out-of-school learners. Funding for program implementation in a given area with specific beneficiaries. Resource provision for internet connectivity and devices and expertise. Options for beneficiary selection. We can pilot with the class, grade school, or grade level or school. Selected area of service, and the bounce back education, 72,000 teachers and school members as of date. So for contact information, they can just email the Rotary Club of Alabang Madrigal Business Park and the Virtual Campus Official at gmail.com for inquiries. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Danny. Very interesting yung shinare mo sa amin, especially do sa bounce back.
Mm-hmm.
So while you were saying that there is a good number of private schools that have opted to close, siguro at least temporarily, meron naman palang bounce back. So that gives us a lot of optimism and hope na pagkasakali, no, pagkatapos nitong quarantine and pandemic, they would really be able to bounce back.
Thank you. Yeah.
So we have another interesting panelist with a very catchy name of his institution, AHA. Pag sinabi kasing AHA, parang may
It's a learning.
May discovery tayo, ano? May natutunan tayo. So, let's listen to our 2018 TOYM awardee, Chato Sulweta.
Jayton po.
Jayton
Po.
Sulweta.
Opo. So I have a short video, sir, that explains the work we've been doing since March. We've trained over 50,000 teachers on Zoom in 15 school divisions. We've had a homeschool program, a text-based homeschool program that was free and through Facebook Messenger for 16,000 students. And we've been on the radio creating content po. We're obviously Knowledge Channel is one of our inspirations. So it's wonderful to be in the same panel as you and Sir Karandang and all these wonderful people. Since we don't have a lot of time, if you allow me to show the short video explaining our initiatives since the lockdown.
Go ahead, Jayton.
Opo. Please play the video, ma'am.
Yeah, Rina, you can share.
Ay, opo. Si Ma'am Rina pala.
Malakas yung wifi niya eh.
Sige po.
Ang AHA Learning Center ay isang award-winning libreng after-school program para sa mga estudyante mula sa pampublikong paaralan na naitayo noong 2009 at nakapaghatid na ng serbisyo sa halos 13,000 estudyante. Ang mga pangunahing paksa sa programa ng AHA ay ang English at Math na remedial, pero kaakibat rin nito ang Values Formation, Feeding, at Programming classes. Patuloy ang pag-aaruga ng AHA sa komunidad na ito kahit noong ginulat tayo lahat ng pagkalat ng pandemyang coronavirus. Kahit na kinakailangang isara ang mga center sa Makati at Tondo, hindi sumuko ang AHA sa kanilang misyong walang batang maiiwan sa pagkatuto. At ito ay nag-shift sa platapormang Facebook Messenger na libre at accessible basta may signal. Naghanap ng iba't ibang paraan ang AHA upang makaabot sa mga estudyante ang kanilang mga aralin at isa na nga rito ay ang pagkakatayo ng Eskwelang Pamilya. Isang libreng text-based Facebook school para sa mga estudyante mula sa mga pampublikong paaralan. Samahan niyo ako at tignan natin ang klase ng grade 6 Rizal. Ito ay isinasagawa sa Facebook Messenger free dahil ito ay libre at hindi kinakailangan ng internet at data. Hangarin ng Eskwelang Pamilya na panatilihing maalam at kalma ang mga estudyante at ang kanilang mga pamilya. Mas makatulong sa pagbasa at pagsulat ng mga bata, tulungang matutunan ng mga estudyante ang mga pagbabagong dala ng panahon at magbigay ng safe space para sa komunidad ng AHA. Araw-araw, iba't ibang mga aralin at aktibidad ang tinatalakay sa Eskwelang Pamilya. Tulad ng bata, may tanong ka ba sa COVID? Wellness in times of COVID? Pagbabasa ng maiikling kwento, malikhaing pagsulat, mga laro, daily devotions, empathy circle, at ang kaakibat na programa ng Eskwelang Pamilya na Eskwelang Pamilya Live. Dahil hindi nga naman lahat ng sambahayan ay mayroong access sa internet, cellphone o computer, paano nga ba maaaring ipahatid ng AHA ang lessons papunta sa mga estudyante? Bakit hindi natin gamitin ang radyo at TV para dito? At dito nabuo ang Eskwelang Pamilya Live kung saan mas natututukan ang values formation ng mga estudyante at nagkakaroon pa ng mas malalim na pagkakaintindi sa mga aralin tungkol sa COVID. Mayroon ring mga kantahan, kwentuhan at guestings na kung saan natututo ang mga bata ng iba't ibang bagong kakayahan at propesyon ng mga iba't iba ring tao. Kasabay nito ang paggabay sa mas marami pang mga guro sa pampublikong paaralan upang matugunan ang pangangailangan para sa wasto at epektibong pagkatuto ng mga bata kahit ito ay online. Dito, pumapasok ang tulong eskwela na gumagabay at training na rin para sa mga gurong naghahanda sa distance teaching kung paano nila magagabayan ang mga estudyante online. Sa ganitong paraan, mas maraming kabataan ang maaabot ng AHA at walang maiiwan. Kasama rin sa pagsasanay at pagkatuto ng bagong skills ng ating mga estudyante ang barangay coding, isang libreng programming course para sa mga estudyante sa AHA, lalo na yung mga mas nakakatanda. Ang mga nauna nang nakapagtapos ng mga pangunahing kurso dito, 10 high school students mula sa AHA Makati ay patuloy na pinapag-aralan ang mga susunod pang kurso. Hindi ibig sabihin na may lockdown o quarantine ay titigil na ang lahat. Patuloy pa rin ang kanilang pag-aaral ng programming para sa pagmamahal sa skill na ito at upang magkaroon sila ng kasanayan. Pumapasok rin dito ang pag-aaral ng digital etiquette at kung paano nila mapoprotektahan ang sarili nila online. Sa AHA, hindi matitigil ang paggabay, pagtuturo at pag-aaruga sa komunidad at sa bansa dahil naniniwala kami sa kakayahan ng bawat bata. Ang mga programa ng AHA ngayon ay sinusuportahan na ng San Miguel Corporation, Department of Health, Department of Education NCR, Train Station Philippines at ng Office of the Vice President. Tayo ang pagbabagong ating hinihintay. Kaya tara na sa AHA!
Palakpakan natin si Jayton. Napakaganda ng mga programa ng AHA. Salamat, Jayton. Ngayon ay dadako na tayo sa isa pa nating resource panelist na magsishare din ang kanyang karanasan. Meron naman siyang insights na babahagi sa atin mula sa Educating for Life. Let's call on our past president of the Rotary Club of Sun Valley Sunrise, Michelle Padrelanan. Michelle?
Thank you, Governor Sani. Good afternoon po sa inyong lahat, Gov Chacha and the rest. Good afternoon po. My name is Michelle Padrelanan. I'm the past president of the Rotary Club of Sun Valley Sunrise. I'm also a homeschooling mom for the last 17 years. I've already graduated 2 of our children. Our eldest, Bethany, graduated from college last 2017 with a BS degree in Business Administration, major in marketing. And now she's already working abroad for a multinational hotel. Our second child is Naomi. She's currently in 4th year college. She's on track naman for summa cum laude. She's also the charter president of the Rotary Club of Sun Valley Sunrise. And this year, she's the Deputy District Secretary for Rotaract, still the president of her club. We're still homeschooling our last 2 children, and we'll be doing so until the youngest can enter senior high school, which is about 4 to 5 years from now. First, I'd like to share with you some statistics coming from a research study by the National Home Education Research Institute in the US by Brian Ray, PhD. The home-educated typically score 15 to 30 percentile points above public school students on standardized academic achievement tests. Homeschool students score above average on achievement tests regardless of their parents' level of formal education or their family's household income. Whether homeschool parents were ever certified teachers is not related to their children's academic achievement. Okay lang po kasi wala po sa slide ko yan. Degree of state control and regulation of homeschooling is not related to academic achievement. Home-educated students typically score above average on the SAT and ACT test that colleges consider for admissions. And homeschool students are increasingly being actively recruited by colleges. Ako po, I teach parents how to educate their children at home. Admittedly, the decision to homeschool is one that parents must consider seriously because the commitment to do it must last for at least 1 year. It's not something that they can just drop when they become tired of it. That's why we say that homeschooling is not for everyone. Today, I'll be sharing some tips to parents to help them manage their children's education at home. Plus, 2 appeals to the principals, teachers, and school administrators here. First, I want to thank all the school administrators, the principals, and the teachers. You're doing such a good job supporting the parents in making sure that their children learn at home. However, right now, our situation is very different. It's no longer a choice for parents if they want to homeschool or not. It's really the way that we're doing it. So parents now have the responsibility to partner with the schools to ensure that their children are learning. And this is where the problems begin, as shared with the mommy Nerissa earlier. I've read many comments of parents on social media, and I can see that though there are already families who have accepted this, just like si Mommy Nerissa, they have accepted it. But there are more parents who prefer to have their children be educated by schools and by the teachers. However, they still have no choice but to manage it. The question is how? I'd like to start with this. Next slide po. Quarantine gave us something that many have been longing for before, and that is more time with our children and our families. Therefore, we can choose to look at this as a blessed privilege, a time to create an impact in our children's lives. We must make full use of it. Now we have the chance to teach them life skills. Next slide, please. Such as any life skills, diba? Driving, gardening, doing chores at home, cooking, kahit anong gusto nyong ituro, pwede yun na itong ituro sa kanila. May time na kasi. Now, if you're running a home-based business or if you're working, do you know you can actually have them assist you in your business or in your work? In our home, we do that. My husband, who runs a buy and sell business online with my sister, have both our children helping them with managing their social media accounts. Our youngest son also helps my husband in doing a lot of the physical work of that business. And in my own work, because I also work full-time now, I also ask the assistance of my children in some of the work that needs to be done on the computer. This time also gives us the opportunity to be more intentional in teaching our children what the family values the most. If you want to pass on your faith, spending time to worship together at home and online is one great way to do it. It also gives you more time to talk to your children and get to know them better. You know those times that we used to spend commuting, traveling to and from work? We can now use those time wisely so that we can have more time with our family. What about those problems that parents usually face, diba? Nagugulat na lang sila when their children go home and biglang nagmumura na. O kaya umuwi yung anak nila umiiyak kasi nabully sila in school. Or yung biglang nagtatanong sa'yo yung maliit mong anak, Mami, bakit nakita ko hinalik kami ganito si ganito? Daming problema, yun ang mga hinaharap ng mga parents dati kasi nasa school na maraming negative influences. Pero ngayon, the good news is dahil nasa bahay na sila, a lot of these things are already under your control. Pwede mo na silang protektahan from all those other experiences. So you should also take this opportunity to mold your child's character. Matuturuan nyo na sila mula pagising nila sa umaga how to fix their beds, clean up after themselves, help out at home. These are character building opportunities or activities. Yung nakikita nga lang nila ngayon sa inyo, mga parents, yung nakikita nga lang nila ngayon kung paano kayo nagtsatsaga at gumagawa ng paraan para mabuhay pa rin kahit may pandemya, marami na silang natututunan sa inyo. Learning opportunity na rin ho yan. What am I saying? Hindi lahat ng learning makukuha sa schools lang. Mas matatandaan pa nila yung mga natututunan nila sa inyo kaysa sa mga nababasa lang nila sa school books nila. Ito ang inuuna ko kasi ito ang foundation of learning. Once you have taught your children to obey, to work with excellence, to focus on what they're doing, mas madali nang mag-aral independently. Here, I'm giving you 3 tips for the parents. Number 1, you should have a study area for your children at home. Kahit simple lang, hindi naman kailangan maging malaki ang bahay niyo, bigyan niyo lang sila ng table and chair kung saan doon sila laging mag-aaral. Nandoon yung mga gamit nila. Pero, huwag nyo rin i-require na dapat magstay lang sila dyan the whole time. Kasi kung ang mga anak nyo ay mga malilikot, you can't really expect them to just stay seated the whole time. Ano? Kung magbabasa lang sila ng libro, let them be comfortable. Let them study kung saan nila gusto. Meron kayong makikita diyang picture mamaya na kami ng mga anak ko usually, we stay in bed, dun sila nag-aaral. Please, parents, don't try to recreate school at home. Kaya ganyan ang picture ko, yung may schedule. Don't try to recreate that at home. Yes, dapat may study area sila, pero kung pwede naman, huwag niyong pilitin na nakatutok lamang sa computer yung mga anak niyo ng 45 minutes to an hour per subject and ilang oras pa sa isang araw kasi maraming subjects. In real life, hindi nila kaya yun. Let's not expect this from them as well. If the school wants this, kunyari, 5 hours na nakatutok lang sa computer yung anak nyo, then you parents have to be proactive and inform the school na hindi to kaya ng mga anak nyo or ayaw nyo rin na ganun ang gusto nilang gawin. Give them short breaks during the day in periods when they are not online. Let them go out, play, exercise, be in the sun. Parents, sabi ko kanina, you are partners sa education ng mga anak ninyo. Pero I tell you, be a parent first to your children before you become teachers. Check on their welfare first. Don't pressure them to perform all the time. Yung mga kids ko, they're all top of their class. Diba yung panganay, magna cum laude. Yung pangalawa, on track for summa cum laude. I was strict with them. Pero what I did was, I expected good performance from them, but lagi kong inuuna yung kapakanan nila over what they have to learn. You see, it's our emotional support that encourages them to do well, hindi pressure sa kanila. Ito, be a team. If both parents are working, find a way to be able to help your children with their schoolwork. Divide the responsibility among you. I mentioned earlier that we are still homeschooling 2 of our children. Before, with the 2 older children, I did the whole job of homeschooling myself. I taught them all of the subjects. But now that I'm also working full-time, I enlisted the help of their dad and their ate Naomi to help them with their daily lessons. Now, 3 na kaming nagtuturo sa kanilang 2. And see, this also teaches the children about teamwork. Kailan nila kailangan ito? Pag lumaki na sila at magtatrabaho na. Even in college, they need to learn how to work with teams and they can see it being done right now kung ginagawa ninyo yan sa bahay niyo. If hindi talaga ninyo kaya silang turuan, parents, and you can afford it, I advise you to hire an online tutor. Get the help that you need. Ang dami kasi naman ding pamilya na nawalan ng trabaho ngayon, di ba? Pwede nyo rin silang tulungan. If you can afford it, tulungan nyo rin sila na magkaroon din sila ng living nila. Finally, my advice to parents is keep calm. You know what we all need as parents? We need to learn stress management skills like deep breathing, journaling, or mindfulness exercises. Sobrang stressful ng panahon ngayon, yes, but there are ways to alleviate stress so that we can take better care of our families and children. What is important right now talaga naman, I hope you agree with this, is that we all survive this period and we come out of this pandemic stronger and that our children will keep learning despite of this pandemic. Pag napapagod na, magpahinga. Huwag pilitin dahil may bukas pa naman. For the schools, this is my appeal to you. Please, do not pile on the assignments to your students. Nahirapan sila yung mga estudyante. Kahit pa college yan, hirap na hirap sila. It affects their mental health seriously. Also, the parents who are already dealing with so much already, they must not be treated like your teachers na full-time na nagtuturo, but as parents who are partnering with you in education. Another is, don't expect the families to conduct learning as if they are still in school. It might be more effective if you will just give them goals to finish and allow them to finish this in their own ways. Bigyan nyo na lang ng checkpoints. For us homeschoolers, we don't take the whole day for the learning of our children. The younger our children are, the shorter the time to study. The reason most of us are successful in homeschooling is because we consider the best ways for our children to learn. Our homeschool is successful because we make it work for our families. We consider our priorities and the ways our children learn and how we also teach them. So ito, I regularly give a webinar which is called Ready to Homeschool, in which I teach parents how to educate their children at home. For the audience here, if you'd like to join my webinar, if you'd like to learn more strategies, you can reach out to me through my number. I'll give you all 50% discount from the fee, which is mura lang naman. So thank you so much. I hope meron akong naitulong sa inyo dito.
Thank you, Michelle. That was certainly a very enlightening sharing. Meron ako natutunan. Hindi lang yung paaralan ang lugar na kung saan tayo matututo.
Yeah.
The home is part of a big learning world. The whole world, life itself is a learning adventure. So I think that is something that the pandemic is teaching us every day. Our next panelist is a lawyer by profession and now an advocate of reading skills. Let's listen to a past president of the Rotary Club of Makati, Attorney Reggie Nolido. Reggie?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Gov Sani, for the introduction. Good afternoon, Gov Chacha, and to all the participants in this seminar. First of all, you're probably wondering what a lawyer is doing here. Well, two things. I am actually a teacher also. I am a member of the faculty of Ateneo de Manila University, the School of Management. But in addition to that, I'm also, heading now this project that we have in the Rotary Club of Makati, which we call My First Teacher Project. As was shared a while ago by many.
Reg, we lost your audio. I think he inadvertently muted.
All right, there again. All right. Okay, again, just start it off. What we have here is a project called the My First Teacher Project from the Rotary Club of Makati. Let me go through first now what's the problem now that we are facing for a lot of our students. You will see that as statistics have shown and studies have shown, a lot of our students really are incapable of reading. Last year we had a project in Bangkal Elementary School with our Rotaractors, where we actually met with children, grade 3, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4 students who could not even say the alphabet fully, and who were struggling to learn 3-letter words. That being the case, we realized that there is a need for us to teach our students how to read better. And one thing that's very important in the process is that we recognize the value of our parents in preparing our students how to read better. In the next slide, you will see here what the role of the parent is in homeschooling nowadays, which is a part of our everyday life. Yan ang trabaho nila ngayon. Tagapamalo ng mga hindi nakikinig. But really, next slide please. The real role of parents now is to support learning at home. So parents to supplement what teachers do, not to replace them. It's a very important concept. Parents to help children develop independent learning skills and manage their own learning. And for the educators, they can provide practical strategies for parents to support learning at home. Now, yung program na naisip namin dito, initially, nung wala pa nung COVID, ang talaga naisip namin dito is for us to have a program to teach parents how to teach their children how to read. Okay, so again, it's teach parents how to teach their children how to read. So it's really meant to be a supplement. However, with COVID now, with online learning now, with the directive of the Department of Education now, we realize that there is really a need to train our public school parents how to help their children cope with their learning situation. So in my first teacher, it's really a series of capacity building modules and materials for parents of beginning readers to enable them to teach reading at home. The modules for the parents include, so please note, the modules are for the parents, to include topics on teaching reading in Filipino and English, the importance of storytelling, as well as creating a reading corner. The goal for this project is to equip parents with the necessary knowledge, skills, and materials to be able to teach reading to their own children. Okay, next slide, please. This is basically the framework that we are trying to follow to implement this project. What are the input items? Capacity building, parent engagement, tutorial videos, handouts, resources and materials. These are what we are going to put into the system, to put into the program. What's the process that we will follow? We have to now help the parents, okay, help their kids learn to read. So literacy at home, reading at home, positive learning experiences. These are the things that we will help the parents or equip the parents with the capability to do in order for them to have a literacy program in their homes. And what is our expected outcome, or what is our hoped outcome, is for early reader holistic development. Improved parent-child relationships, siyempre kasama yon, and improved academic outcomes. So hopefully these are the things that we will realize after we've gone through this program. Next slide, please. So what are the resources and materials that we're actually going to put into this project? We will have Filipino booklets, English booklets, Filipino flashcards, handouts on teaching strategies for parents. We even have tutorial videos that we will make available to them. And of course, we will have workshop sessions. We will have seminars for our parents at the start of the program, in the middle of the program, and kumustahan in the end, at the end of the program, in order for us to be able to not only help them, prepare them, but to guide them through the process, and more importantly, in the end, for us to understand what were the pitfalls, what were the problems, how can we improve the program in order to make it more effective for our kids. Next slide. Next slide, please. Thank you. Okay, here you will see the materials that we actually have, no, for the Filipino booklets. It is designed in a modular way, 1 to 5. Use the Marunko approach in teaching Filipino reading. I will admit the Marunko approach is still something I'm trying to understand, but our project partners here are experts in the Marunko approach. Divided into 5 parts to cover all 28 letters of the Filipino alphabet. And each booklet contains practice reading guides for syllables, words and sentences, short stories and activities. Here you will see, pasensya na kayo, maliit yung mga litrato, you will see here that the flashcards that they have here, or those that are part of the booklets, you will see there teaching from letters all the way to different words that they can try to understand. And then you can even have programs that they can do, or projects that they can do together, which helps them in their reading process. Next slide. So that's Filipino. Now we also have English. Again, this is designed in a modular way, grouped into words, families, blends, and digraphs. Arrange sight words according to sentence use, and all these things. Again, this is, if you notice, we have materials which are already well set for Filipino. English, we are still developing it, together with our project partners. Suffice it to say, we see the importance not just of learning reading primarily, first in Filipino, because then it will be more familiar with them, but also in English, in order for us to develop them further. Next slide. And then we also have our tutorial videos, we also have handouts, and we also have workshop sessions, as I have described earlier. So all these are likewise made available to our parents for us to be able to help them out. Next. Okay. What is the goal here? The goal here is improve decoding skills in Filipino reading by 20 CWPM. Ano yung CWPM? Correct number of words read per minute. Okay? So, what we'd like to have is a growth rate will be measured by change in correct number of words read per minute of the following: familiar word reading and passage reading, oral passage reading. So we have set here a definite goal that we'd like to be able to achieve, so that when we start a program, we can track how it is that they develop, and hopefully we'll be able to really see concrete improvements in the reading capability of our students. Next. Okay, who are the different stakeholders here, and what are different roles? We have our project partner. We call them the My First Teacher core team. They're the guys who actually made the materials, who did the training modules and the assessment tools. They will be the one to facilitate the training first of the community partner, and then also with the parents. So the community partner and the parents and MFT will now be the ones to help each other in training our parents. They provide assistance to community partners also as needed, and interpret data from the assessment. How about us? What is the role here of the Rotary Club? Oh, by the way, if you guys want to adopt this as your project, then this is exactly what it is that you're going to do, so you have an idea how you can participate. Rotary clubs, you can provide the funding. You can identify, of course, a community and the community partner. You are the conduit here who can open up doors for more learning in our communities. You prepare and deliver the reading kits, and of course, you help out in the making of the final report. The community partners. In our project that we're going to implement, the community partner that we have chosen would be our Rotaractors. Our Rotaractors are already very much involved in Bangkal Elementary School, so there's really no need for us to reinvent the wheel. So since that's the case, then we are going to tap our Rotaractors in order for us to be able to latch on with the principal of the school and with the parent-teacher association to help us through this process. So they undergo onboarding and training to be conducted by our My First Teacher core team. They identify the school and the parent beneficiaries. School and parent beneficiaries who will be the one to benefit from this program, and then of course do the assessment and evaluation then. And then of course, lastly and more importantly, who are we targeting? We are targeting parents. We want them to be able to attend our training program, to receive the training kits, to learn from our lessons, and hopefully be effective teachers to their own children, or guides to their own children as they go forth in this journey of reading. Next. Next slide, please. Oh, nawala yung slides. Actually, in terms of the slide, let me follow my guide. After that, okay, here. What are the things to consider for the community partner? Like what I said, the community partner that we have identified are Rotaractors. However, you can also use your SK officials, your barangay officials, the LGU daycare centers, teachers, and public schools, of course. The target here is something like 15 to 20 parents for one program. So we don't want to have too big a group. Or you can have several community partners to take care of 15 to 20 parents. Or what we intend to do for our Rotaractors is to cut them up into different groups within our Rotaract, and then to assign to them 15 to 20 parents. Why? Because we want to increase effectivity of training and to provide better assistance, and of course to practice social distancing. And then of course for the child, we have to target children who are effectively non-readers. Why? Because, well, they're really the ones who need this the most. Next. How does the program look like? It's actually a 14-week program that we're going to do. And this is how we're going to do it. Interspersed within these weeks would be the sessions that we will have with the parents, kumustahan, finding out how they are, and then helping them with their problems that they're facing to provide them even more tips on how to teach their children how to read. And then next, how much is it going to cost you as a Rotary Club? It can be something like 40,000 pesos. However, please note that here may mga transportation and shipping costs. Tanggalin mo yung mga yon if you're dealing with a community that's already within driving distance from you or even walking distance from you. Malaking bagay ang mawawala rito. How much is it per kit? We are actually only budgeting a little over 100 pesos per kit. Sabihin mo ng 200 pesos per kit. Okay? 200 pesos per kit. If you have 100 students, you're talking about 20,000 pesos. Really not that bad. Next. So that ends my presentation. Again, this is just for me to relate to you the My First Teacher project that we have, which if you'd like to adopt for your own Rotary clubs, please feel free to get in touch with me and I can put you together with other people, with the partners that we have, and maybe you and our club can come together and help even more children. Last thing I'd like to say, there was a time for 8 straight years, I was actually a volunteer teacher in public schools in Quezon City when I was a student. And in my own personal experience dealing with a lot of the public school children, you can see the enthusiasm in their hearts. They really want to learn. Unfortunately, a lot of them really don't have the support system to be better students. I've had grade 6 students who didn't know how to read. And then hopefully this is a project that we can adopt for us to be able to help those who are, because of the failure in the system that we have, are now being left in the laylayan ng lipunan. So maybe we can help them out and be better brothers and sisters for them. So thank you very much to everyone, and God bless all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Teacher Attorney Reggie. And now we save the best for last. Our 7th panelist, the past president of the Rotary Club of Makati Paseo de Rojas, who will share with us some pointers on how to access Rotary Foundation resources. Let's now call on Mabel Esteban. Mabel?
Thank you, Gov. Sunny. Hello, Gov. Chacha, and all the other dignitaries in this group and fellow Rotarians. I am amazed. I am dumbfounded at how so much we Rotarians can do. Napakaganda nga po ng title ng ating town hall na how did we word it? How can we make it better as Rotarians? Well, anyway, as Gov. Sani mentioned, practically all Rotary clubs in our district, in Rotary, have an adopted school. So it's not surprising that when we, make district grants available to all the clubs, a big chunk of it go to schools. Prior to COVID, our efforts in Rotary were focused on educational support, feeding support, wash in schools. But with COVID, donations for contra COVID was added to the pie. In fact, because we called for submissions of district grants to come in as early as June 15, that was our deadline, it is not surprising that many of our grants focused on COVID-proofing of schools. Nonetheless, I want to share a few others that are more along the line of our discussion today. So 2 clubs are submitted proposals for reading programs to assist slow learners. 1 club submitted a grant for community peer tutoring. 3 clubs submitted grants for Wi-Fi to support educators, the schools, the teachers. 2 clubs were hoping to support the schools to donations of ink, printers, printing supplies. 6 clubs are involved with providing tablets or gadgets. And then 7 clubs, this is what Raisa mentioned earlier. Sorry, not Raisa, but Rina mentioned earlier. 7 grants were devoted towards teacher training in the new normal, which is a 3-day online tutorial. and Principal Myla was involved in. So as time went on, from June 15, when the deadline was set for district grants, and we realized that face-to-face is not going to happen, and it's not going to happen soon. First, they said school will start in August, in September, and now in October. So with that, many clubs began asking us in the district grants team whether they could reposition their grants to be more attuned to the needs of schools in the new normal. And this is my message for the clubs. Although the district grant team, it will not be easy. Nonetheless, if you're asking me now, can we reposition our district grants to cover first for whatever purpose? The answer is yes. Yes, we are prepared to assist you in repositioning your district grants as you wish. You just have to inform your district grant officer. That's number one. Number two, submit a new application. Simple. Our applications are very simple, following Governor Chacha's requirement. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set a deadline for this. And offhand, the deadline we are thinking of is September 20, so that we can gather all your new applications, because we have to request for approval prior to implementation. So if we put a deadline of September 20, our district grant evaluation officer is very quick to act, especially when we explain to her the reason for the change. So I am confident we will get, your projects off the ground before the end of the month. So yan lang po ang message ko sa inyong lahat. As we're going to have a thorough discussion pa, question and answer, and even post this. I think Gov Sani is thinking of having a post discussion. But to all the clubs, my message is, if you do want to reposition your district grants, especially if they're along the lines that we have discussed now, please do not hesitate to do so. Your district grant committee is ready, is available, are working very hard, and will work very hard to make it possible. Yun lang. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mabel. Let's go right away into our open forum. The first question is from Irwin Bailon, Perfect Vision President of Rotary Club of Parañaque North. This seems to be for Rina. How can we interface or integrate knowledge channel modules with public-private grade school curriculum? Rina?
Yeah. Hi, Erwin. Good afternoon. There are many ways that our video lessons can be interfaced with the curriculum. No, they're actually aligned to the curriculum already, and as I mentioned earlier, we can provide. These video lessons are on air on Sky Cable and GSAT. They're also online on our website and YouTube channel. We will soon also have a learning management system wherein you can access the video lessons. And but we also have a portable media library that you can provide to your teachers so that they can use these video lessons when they make the lesson plans. And hopefully you can copy it and provide it to the students. No, basically those are the ways that we can interface with the curriculum, and of course also the teacher training, that we're doing now. It will help the teachers to really be able to have the skills and the knowledge to integrate these video lessons into their teaching plans, their learning continuity plans. And these trainings are in either 3 days or 1 day. So that's something that we can do together.
Okay, thank you, Rina. This is a question from Peaches Reyes of Makati San Antonio, I think. And Myla or Reggie could answer this. How do students get to the next level if they don't know how to read? Is there no such thing as failed or repeater for public schools? Myla and Reggie.
Myla and Reggie. Myla and Reggie. Myla and
Okay.
Reggie.
Sorry. Go ahead, Myla.
Good afternoon po. So with regards to your questions, actually we're doing our best so that there will be no repeater, no non-reader at the end of the school year. That's why we give some interventions. So with the K to 12 curriculum, with the K to 12 curriculum, a grade 1 leader, a grade 1 learner must already be a reader. So if we're going to failed them on the first on grade 1, since there are 12 years of there are 12 school years, so medyo kung paulit-ulit sila babaksak at babaksak paulit-ulit silang babaksak, so it will take them longer years for them to reach college. So what we do is to give them interventions. So kapag nalaman na namin na hindi reader pa lang, non-reader sila, we give interventions. Kaya nung nagdi-discuss si attorney kanina, very interesting yung kanyang tip, ano yan, yung kanyang my first teacher, yung parent. Actually, the problem with the public school is some of the parents are also are also slow readers. So we even gave them intervention before they can teach their children. That's why we do not adopt the home schooling modality, but instead we will be using the home-based learning. So right now at the new new normal situation, it's not only the pupil, the children are our learners, but also the parent. Kaya we give them a lot of interventions. We give them a lot of trainings. We also teach them. We try to reach them out para matulungan din kami, because they will be acting as a facilitator to this new normal situation. So we should be always proactive with everything, with every challenges that may come to us.
Okay. Thank you, Myla. I think this one is definitely for attorney teacher Reggie. From Mary Agnes Inocencio. Will there be an assessment of the parents' reading skills level? Teacher Reggie.
Yeah, actually that is one of the things that we will also have to determine when we launch the project. So when we identify already the parents who are going to we're going to be partnering with, of course we have to find out, are they in fact capable of doing this? Maganda nga yung sinabi ni Teacher Myla, no, na they have a program to help parents, no, even learn, no? Because a lot of parents really also don't know how to read themselves or have a very low reading level. So as you can see, this is already a systemic problem. Hindi na to one generation problem. This is a several generations problem. And it has to be addressed as a system. No? Hindi na pwede yung pasulput-sulput lang yung ating solution. So we really have to deal with the problem in the system itself. And the fact of the matter is, a lot of our parents are incapable themselves of reading, and so we have to address that. So to answer the question of Agnes, yes, we are going to also evaluate the parents to see if they are in fact capable of being our partners for this program.
Okay, thank you, Attorney Reggie. May I now call on Governor Chacha Camacho. Gov Chacha, I think you have a question for our panel.
Yeah, I actually have 3 questions. One is actually related to what Manette just asked, which Reggie answered just before this. But my first question is, addressed to Reggie and to Michelle. You mentioned in your project, My First Teacher, all these things that you will provide the parents are visible, like skills, workbooks, videos, etc. But the invisible part, which ako may hugot ako dyan, yung emotional parang state of the parents, especially now with all this stress. Kasi when I had my first, my youngest son, when he was growing up, he was studying in Xavier School. I parang nag-goal ako to be a hands-on mom because I've always been working. And this time when he came, I said, I'll tutor him because we all grew up, my first son and all of my siblings, from prep, we had a teacher who would come. Miss Puzon would come to our house and tutor all of us. And then in the evening when my father comes home, I'll sit in front of him. I have to recite the periodic table of elements by memory. And then i-drill niya ako sa multiplication, division, up to 6 digits. So that was how I grew up. And then tutor talaga outside who comes home. And then when my bunso came, I said, no, I'll be a hands-on mom and really teach him. But as we do it every day, naaano ko siya, na child abuse because I get sometimes impatient and I sometimes tumataas ang boses ko or napapalo ko siya ng ball pen and he would say, Mom, that hurts already. So is there anything in your program that will prepare the parents, mentally and emotionally to be more patient, to be more yung teacher and a parent, di ba sometimes you get so talaga ako, Rafa would say, Mom, that hurts. Kasi talagang hindi ko mapigilan pag hindi niya makuha yung sinasabi ko. Pinapalo kong ganon or tumataas yung boses ko, naaano siya. And so after that, after a few months trying to be a hands-on mom, I gave up and just enrolled him in a school near Xavier. What I just did was every day I pick him up from Xavier, bring him there, wait downstairs. That was my pagiging mommy to him. And I gave him really actual, tutoring him. So is there any component of the first teacher project that will address that? Because like Michelle, it was by choice that she became parang homeschooling mom.
Homeschool.
Homeschool. But now, because of COVID, forsado yung ibang moms to just take on that because they have no choice. But the children will have to learn from their home. So what can you do? What kind of program can you do? Or even maybe Rina can have some ideas to integrate it in the Knowledge Channel program. That's my first question. Muna.
Okay. So Gov, thank you. Actually, it's a reality that not everyone can be a teacher. Talaga, the patience that our teachers have to have is really something we should applaud them for. No, we have that's why teachers are heroes because it's so difficult to teach. Sa totoo lang. However, is there something in our program that addresses that? Yes. That's why if you notice, the first thing that we will do in our program is to have a seminar for our parents. Because it's not a seminar just to introduce them to the program, not just to give them the modules, but to also help them prepare themselves to be able to undertake the tasks that are required of them in the program. I also mentioned during my presentation that within the 14-week program, we will have interspersed therein sessions with the parents, kumustahan. Importante para sa amin, no, malaman ano ba yung mga pinagdadaanan nyo, ano yung mga pitfalls nyo, ano yung mga problema nyo, so that we can help guide them and even introduce other ways or methods that they can improve how it is that they're conducting their lessons. So hopefully, these are all things that we can put together for them. Now, I have to admit, this is a work in progress. This is something that as we go through the program, we will learn even more. But yes, we are anticipating that parents do need the support because, like what I said, not everyone can be a teacher. Not everyone is really capable of having that patience to be able to do so. But hopefully, we will be able to provide them at least at the onset with the sufficient tools to be able to do that. Of course, I am more than happy to learn from our panelists, no, other techniques that they have or other ways that they can do to be able for us to impart this to our parents. So I'm also here to listen to the other panelists on your suggestions. So thank you, Gov. I hope I answered the question.
Yeah, thank you. So good.
Okay, may I also answer, Gov Chacha?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the reason why we in the homeschool community, the people we educate are really the parents with homeschooling. Kasi we educate them in terms of first really setting their mindset. Kasi mahirap nga naman talaga mag-homeschool. You have to be committed to it. You have to be disciplined to keep doing it for your kids. Kasi pwede namang hindi ka mag-aral pero sabihin mo pa rin nag-homeschool ka eh. And then we also teach them how their children can learn best. We teach them to research and do study and get to know their children better. Yes, maski ako nag-umpisa ako ganyan. Maiksi din ng pagpapasensya ko. Pero through time, kasi Gobcha, nakita ko kung paano nasasaktan yung mga anak ko pagka pinapagalitan ko sila. Talagang pinilit ko yung sarili ko na every time nagtuturo ako, maging patient ako because meron akong tinitignan na goal in the future para sa mga anak ko. And if papabayaan ko lang yung sarili ko na lagi na lang akong mag-respond sa inis ko, lagi ko na lang papakita, hindi yun marireach ng mga anak ko yung goal na yun. So in terms of program for them, though, ito yung what you see my background, yung Ready to Homeschool, that's a 4-hour webinar where I teach parents. Kasama dun yung mind setting and yung reasons bakit ba sila mag-homeschool. And from there, the parents already learn eh. And it takes a lot of practice. Hindi naman agad-agad yan na pag nag-attend ka ng isang training o isang seminar, agad-agad, kayang-kaya mo na. It takes a lot of practice and experience and for the parents to really pay attention to their children. Na makita nila, kasi alam nyo, for the parents who are here, isa sa mga napakasarap is yung makita nyo na natututo yung anak ninyo. Yun talaga. Yung makita nyo sa mata nila na naintindihan nila, tapos ikaw ang nagturo nun, that's powerful. Grabe. Kaya pagka ginagawa niyo yun and your mind is set na gusto mo talaga matuto ang anak mo, kaya ninyong malagpasan yung mga kakainis, kakaasar na yun. Gomcha, yung isang magandang tip talaga is yung sinabi ng git ko kanina, self-care. Maybe other matters are happening in your life, kaya nawawalan ka ng pasensya agad, or even sa other parents, yun yung sasabihin ko, bigyan nyo ng panahon yung sarili ninyo na inaalagaan nyo rin ang sarili nyo. Lalo na ngayon. Ayun po. Thank you.
But Gov, Sunny, my other question. Actually, the other one has been answered by Reggie already. But as Rotarians, Rotary clubs, we have some funds, we have some resources available to help yung ngayon, yung what's the problems that Rina told us about at the start with the education, with the system now, the modality and all. But as a Rotary Club, what area can we focus on to really have a very significant and measurable impact in this problem of education? Where should we, I remember at the start of July, we had also a town hall meeting with Mayor Olivares, the Parañaque clubs, trying to pinpoint where can Rotary clubs in Parañaque help. Maybe principal can help, Myla, at saan ba? Is it donating gadgets? Is it in this training like the project of RC Makati? let's say my club only has 40,000 from the district grant fund. Where is the best part of all? There's so many problems. We cannot give solutions to all of these. But where do you think will a Rotary Club with not so much, with limited resources, focus on so that we can make a real significant, an impact, a measurable impact?
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Right now, since there is no face-to-face interaction between teachers and parents, so usually kasi the Rotarians from Makati and other Rotary clubs gets into our WASH programs. In fact, Parañaque Elementary School wins 3-star because of the donation of Rotary Club Makati South. So we won 3-star in the WASH or the wins in school. So WASH in school or wins. So right now, because there will be no students, so we encourage the Rotarians to get into the literacy program. So kasama yung first teacher with teaching the parents how to teach reading with their children. That's one, ma'am. Maganda po 'yon. Kaya lang the scenario in the public school is that most of the non-readers have parents who also are non-readers. Yun po yung isang problema natin. Yun po yung isang problema namin. Now, another problem that if we are going to reach out with the parents, hindi rin safe kasi nandoon sila sa lugar where there are lots of COVID patients. So the risk of the teacher who will teach the parents would be at risk. So that's another problem. Now, Mayor Edwin Olivares, to answer or to support us with our educational needs in the new normal system, launch a program, educational Wi-Fi for greater learning opportunities, or the Project ELO. Now, but internet connectivity will be implemented in the whole city. So buong syudad na po magkakaroon ng free Wi-Fi for the learners alone. Hindi po pwedeng we will control the use of the Wi-Fi purely for educational purposes only. Kasi bibigyan namin sila ng mga code na magagamit lamang nila for the education only. So we also have division learning portals where they can access on modules. Now, because of the pandemic, hindi naman we understand our mayor. We really appreciate the effort of our mayor. It will take a lot of money kapag isasagutin niya yung tablets ng lahat ng mga bata. So ang ginawa niya, let's have a survey. See, one family, one tablet per family. Kumbaga, if the family has 3 children, the 3 children can use the tablet. That's why doon muna siya sa kinder and then sa grade 1. Okay, so lahat ng bata namin sa kinder and sa grade 1 will be given tablets this coming school year. Now, for the grades 2 to grade 6, Mayor Olivares gave us the printing equipment and the printing supplies. So it's the school's task to print all the modules and to have the printed copy for those who do not have the gadget. That's why we came up. Pag naman po printed modules during our simulation, there are problems that we met along during the process. So may mga predicaments, and one of the predicaments is yung the transfer of communication and instruction to the parents. So if it will be printed, it will take time kasi i-deliver namin yung instructions namin or yung aming flyers o yung aming infographics i-deliver namin. And then, bago kami makakuha ng response, sa susunod pa naming balik sa kanila because we cannot wait for the responses and that long on one certain area because of the pandemic. So that's why we came up all the schools came up with, even our division came up with donate a cell phone or donate a gadget. So inadapt naman namin, we are all the schools in Parañaque adapted the program. So lahat kami, we have our own project with regards to donating a gadget. Kaya we're after the result as well. Siyempre, if we're going to give them, may hiya naman kami doon sa aming mga sponsor if we will not take care of your donations. Kailangan may result din, di po ba? Just like the wins, there is the result. Nanalo kami ng 3-star. Naturuan ng mga bata ng proper hygiene, ng nagamit din yung CR for the whole year. So this time, paano yung, I know the doubt na paano yung gadget, baka ibenta o baka ipagbili, because they belong to the low. Most of our children belong to the low socio-economic background, yung mga families with low socio-economic background. So alam naman natin yun, yun ang realidad di ba? Na pag wala nang makain, baka pwedeng ano. So we come up talking with Migs Bermido. Actually, maganda yung ni Migs Bermido na project gadget, and we're lucky that we're one of the beneficiary ng project gadget niya. Kaya lang syempre, hindi pa rin sasapat with regards to the number of our children that we are raising up to have the gadget. So, maganda yung yan. But then, kailangan, there's accountability and responsibility of the parents who will receive the tablet for their children. Hindi rin po pwede na i-expose ang bata for more than 3 hours on the gadget and let them play. Hindi po. So we will have the guidelines on the accountability and responsibility of the elders in using the tablet. So lahat po dapat ay all accounted for. Kailangan bata, magulang, teacher, and parents should have the responsibility on every programs or on every project na ipuput up namin or i-organize namin in the school.
Okay,
Yun
thank you.
po yung
I have idea of what to do.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Myla. There's a question from one of our parent panelists, si Neri Sales. Basically, her question is, paano yung mga working parents, nagtatrabaho sila during the day? Where do they fit in now? Kasi parang
let me answer.
Yung requirement ng ng DepEd.
Since this is learning at home, so flexible po yung oras ng ating mga bata. That's why our class schedule is very flexible. So kung ang bata, and then also with the interest of the children also to learn, since nasa bahay lang sila, it's a big adjustment. Unlike kung nasa eskwelahan, talagang pag alas 7 o'clock at math time, required sila na mag-math pag nasa eskwelahan. But since they are at their own, at the comfort of their homes, so we will have the flexibility of their class schedule. And so with the parents, because we understand that most of our parents are also working. So yun po yung niya. Now, ang na lamang namin, ang the role of the school at yung teacher, flexible din yung oras ng teacher. Hindi pwedeng sabihin ni teacher na 6 hours time on task lang po ako. No, it's not like that. So whenever the parents need the teacher's help, so open po yung line nila.
Okay, thank you. Si Jayton, matanong lang natin. Jayton, we have many Rotaractors and young people who are more flexible with their time. Yung program kasi ninyo, I noticed, relies a lot on volunteer efforts. Paano kaya magiging engaged or involved yung mga young Rotaractors natin?
I think because, well, I'd like to just say that I've been enjoying the discussion so far. Nakalimutan ko po na part pala ako ng panel. Sir Sonny, nakikinig lang po kila Sir Myla. Pero, Myla, pero gusto ko lang sabihin po sa mga Rotaract or mga batang nakikinig, importante kasi po na habang the DepEd and big institutions like Knowledge Channel are working on modalities, please share your time and talent, because I think one of the big gaps is the learning, the actual learning. Because when we did actually the Navo school on the box, the Nabota school, they make use of Facebook Messenger. One of the things that we wanted to work on, the reason why actually all of our initiatives take in consideration that there will be no internet. Because most of the communities that we serve don't have internet. The problem with having text-based learning or phone tutor type of interventions is that this requires a lot of manpower. Currently, we have probably over 100 volunteers managing the different communities that are regular, that come in once to twice a week. We need more, if only because a lot of these interventions that we talk about, whether it's the marungko material na sinasabi ni attorney kanina, whether it is the parent orientation, required skilled volunteers and committed volunteers. I believe that now is the time to serve. If you have the time and privilege and the talent, please always say yes to service. This current pandemic exposes and reveals not only the problems that we face, but the greatness of the Filipino spirit. Sinasabi po namin sa AHA na tayong pagbabago ating nihintay. Our team of 10 have helped many, not only by saying yes, but taking the opportunity and the initiative to look around and say, from where I stand, how can I make things a little bit better or easier? So I hope the Rotaract members always ask that question, how can I make it a little bit better for other people? And instead of joining all these webinars and youth groups, please go to your nearest public school. At baka kahit ikaw lang yung taga-print lang sa grupo ng mga, di ba Ma'am Myla, kailangan yung mga taga-print, kailangan yung taga-staple, kailangan yung magbabike at magde-deliver sa mga community centers. Kailangan namin ang AHA ng maraming tulong pang dami namin ginagawa, and we need your help. And if you have the choice of saying yes and no, please always say yes to service, more so during these times.
Okay, that's great, Jayton. Thanks for the tip. I'm sure many of our young Rotaractors are listening and will be more than willing to volunteer, kahit na mag-bike lang sila at maghatid ng mga printed materials.
Sir Sunny, I know naman that everyone is struggling, pero despite of the struggles that we are facing, and yet you are there to share whatever you can do, so that's love. Kaya maraming salamat po sa pagmamahal ninyo.
Okay, mabalikan lang natin si Danny, no? Danny, you were talking about bounce back kanina, no? Siguro this would involve many of our teachers who have been displaced. Paano kaya sila? How can we engage them? How can they continue to be productive contributors to our educational system? Can you tell us more about bounce back, Danny?
Thank you, Gov. That is why we have this digital education course for skills training for teachers. Basically, what we would like to do is to, for those who are out of work because of the pandemic, and it's basically for teachers, it's a 3-level proficiency course that equips teachers with the knowledge, skill, and aptitude to confidently and effectively use technology in digital learning environments. So the beneficiaries of this are the private and public school teachers, the parents, and the guardians as well. So we are taking advantage of yung mga private school teachers na nawalan ng trabaho. We would like to train them. They're very actually just the cost of the technology, and but there are volunteer teachers who are willing to train them digitally to create content, and but also for the adult learners, for the parents who would like to have work, especially in this time of online selling. They can be creative in their digitally. We can train them as well through Bounce Back Philippines in partnership with our school.
Okay, I'd like to call on our co-moderator, Marge. Marge, would you have a question for any of our panelists?
Gov Sunny, may I say something?
Go ahead, while we wait for Marge.
Thank you. I just want to correct the notion that to teach your children at home, you have to be certified or anything like that. No, you don't have to. In fact, even if you're not a college graduate, as long as nagbabasa ka, kaya mong turuan yung anak mo. So, hindi kailangan maging certified ng mga parents para magturo. Basta may kakayahan, and most of all, meron silang willingness to do it. Kaya nilang magturo sa mga anak nila.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. A quick question for Danny. No? This is from Governor Jimmy Cura. Danny, is your digital teaching program officially accredited? And do the students receive an official certificate similar to the TESDA certificates? Danny, please.
Okay, thank you, Gov. What we are having is basically for, like, we are a accredited, DEPED accredited, recognized school. We have recognition from preschool to high school. And so we do not need actually, special type of recognition for the training we'll be giving out to the parents and to the teachers as well. So, but for the students, like if they will be on homeschool, we can also provide the cover for the acceleration or for the promotion of the students. So we can provide that to homeschoolers of who are being trained by Michelle, PP Michelle. So we can do that as well because we are an accredited school. But for the teachers, we can provide certification which will not require actually from DEPED or from TESDA. But we can actually apply for one so that they can make use of it for their credential. So to answer the question whether there's an accreditation, there is we in TESDA there's this no training required, NTR. So if this is a new program, we can actually go ahead with the training and apply for one once we already have the students.
Okay, thank you, Danny. We have time for about 2 or 3 more questions.
Okay.
Kung wala pang nagpo-post.
Gov Sani, there's a question that was being asked. What is the difference between homeschooling and home-based learning? As
Yes, go ahead,
Teacher
Michelle.
Myla mentioned. So, pag sa homeschooling ho kasi, meron talagang, yung parents can really take the full responsibility of choosing what kind of materials that they want to use. And they take the responsibility of really teaching their kids. Yung mga parents talagang nagtuturo sa mga anak nila. I believe yung sinasabi naman ni Ms. Myla na home-based learning is they provide the material, di ba, with the guidance of the school. Oo. So parang yun na nga, nagpa-partner yung parents with the school to ensure na natututo ang mga anak nila.
May continuous,
may difference,
malaki po yung difference nun eh. Yung home-based learning na sinasabi namin, we provided the materials and also may instruction, may learning plan for the parents and the children. Tapos hindi nawawala si teacher, yung role ni teacher. Kumbaga, the parent will bridge the communication between the teacher and the learner. Si parent muna yung gaganap na teacher-teacheran sa bahay pero with continuous communication with the teacher. So ituturo ni teacher kay parent kung ano yung gagawin niya. And also let me share with you kasi nga sa panahon nga ngayon na medyo lahat ay struggling. So we also have yung Rotary Makati South. Nag-provide sila ng bag of hope, tinawag namin siyang bag of hope para sa aming mga bata para doon sa mga modules na aming dadalhin sa mga bata na i-deliver namin sa mga bata. Similar to Novobox, kaya lang sa Novaliches ay box, sa amin naman ay tote bag. So that's what Rotary Club of Makati South is doing for us right now. Patuloy sila sa pagtulong po sa amin. Kami yung adopted school po nila. Salamat po.
Okay, Marge, are you ready to ask your question? Marge.
I'm ready for the integration more than the questions.
Sige, go ahead. I think we're almost into that part. Umpisa
Yeah.
mo na, Marge. No?
Sige. When they enrolled, you actually gave us 3 words. We asked you to cite 3 words, and it's the first opening slide. And mukhang in the process of the discussion, mukhang nasasagot konti-konti yung mga sinabi nyo. Definitely the biggest winner is that it's a challenging year for all of us. And then ang sinasabi, can we survive it? How can we adapt? How do we innovate? And what is the transformation that we will see? And how do we do it? They said, of course, love and patience, and this was reiterated by the panelists. Kailangan, that's the virtue. But also the difficulty and the safety issues, as well as the negative, medyo negative feelings right now. It's that yung mahirap kasi, stressful masyado, nakakalungkot naman, nakaka-upset. At saka, paano ko haharapin yung day 1 ko? I think the teachers have done a great job in terms of preparing all that is necessary. But the day 1 of the school it could turn out to be a traumatic experience either for the child, kasi parent di ba? Pagalitan kaya ako nito pag naglikot ako or something like that, pag mali ang answer ko. Or for the parent, mali yata yung ginagawa ko. So, the day 1 is really the breaker here. And so I think this is where the hand-holding will happen. And sinasabi nga nila psychological safety, even for online teaching, importante yung psychological safety na ma-address din. Paano nila unfreeze. And then the battleground right now, the biggest challenge, listening to all the panelists kasi different aspects of operations of education yon. Ang parang nagiging battleground yung house. Maganda yung mga pangalan di ba? Homeschool, school at home, home-based learning, pamilya eskwela. Pero parang family in school to kasi buong pamilya yung engaged. And ang pinaka dito yung parent kasi siya yung school administrator, siya yung educator, kailangan siya mag-train ng co-teacher niya, tapos siya pa rin magko-conduct ng training, tapos pagkatapos nun siya pa rin mag-evaluate, di ba? Tapos pagkatapos ng parent pa siya, pakakainin niya yung anak niya, etc., etc. At kung kailangan disiplinahin, disiplinahin niya. So napakalaki ng challenge between now and October for the parent to really prepare psychologically, technically, physically, emotionally, ang daming challenges. Kaya napakalaki ng word na challenging kung nakikita nyo sa screen at saka yung apprehensive dahil dito sa distance and blended learning. No? So talagang kung baga titignan mo, napaka-stressful. And this is really the essence of the town hall to really surface ano ba yung feeling level nating lahat. And from the feedback on the chat, we can see that some of the members of the audience, both on Facebook and here, are saying exactly the same sentiments that you place on the survey before the course. And magaganda yung elements of each of the presenters if this could be really put together. And then yung biggest challenge for the teachers, I think really, are for the non-reading parents. Kasi learning modules are printed. Wala masyadong pictures, lalo na dun sa quiz part, kasi worded pa rin yata siya. So, paano niya kaya, emotionally, imo-motivate yung kanyang anak? And if you are teaching 3 different age groups, mahirap din yun, no? The competencies kasi may values, may habits, hindi lang knowledge and skills. So, anong gagawin ko as parent? 3 klase itong ituturo ko in 1 week. No, ang bigat ng challenge. So for us in Rotary, it's really a question of where we would like to focus, like what Gov Chacha said, where is the best use of my money, whatever limited resources, talents that the club has. Talents marami, no? Yung financial ang konti. And then of course the fear factor, which is yung COVID, no? Transmission, community transmission. So even if I'd like to extend personal face-to-face assistance to a parent, magano ko. And then the same thing for the Rotaractors and Interactors. Lalabas sila sa kalye, under 20, limited din ang movement at the moment. So, paano sila makakatulong sa eskwela, yung ganong klase, and to the neighborhood. So, I think that's the whole ecology of the change process that we're going to to achieve the learning outcome as well as the desired transformation. But definitely, I think it is in God's plan. Una, na stay at home tayo, nagbanding na tayo sa ating mga anak. Pero sabi niya, kulang pa yata. Dagdagan ko pa kaya. Eto ngayon, balik tayo sa original. Dapat nagtuturo yung magulang sa kanyang anak ng core values nila sa pamilya. Parang may plano eh. Ano kaya susunod? Yun yung challenge yun. Yun naman yung exciting part nun. After nag-teacher na yung parent, ano kaya ang God's reward for the effort ng teacher at saka ng parents in shaping and molding the children. So, it's really an exciting, sabi nga dyan sa survey, exciting din siya na nangyayari to sa atin. But I think this is still a plan. The technology is part of it, but it's not really it. No, kasi yung opportunities ang importante. And bakit kaya maliit yung determined, ano? Pero sa totoo lang, yun ang pinakakailangan din, determination to see it through the first year. From the teachers, they said that at least the first quarter, natapos na nila yung kanilang mga materials, so there's time to look at it, and then they're now busy for the second phase of what they're doing in terms of developing the learning management system requirements. So, ano ngayon ang gagawin nating Rotarians? Pag panag-inipan natin, imagination talaga. Anong creative? Small group siguro? Or tatlo-tatlo lang ang gagabayan nating mga parents para may social distancing, yung mga ganong klase. So, exciting for us in Rotary, actually. Talagang test of creativity, flexibility, and innovation. And maybe this is one thing that could bond us as a club, na ang agenda natin sa meetings natin, wag muna yung standard agenda, ito muna tukuyin natin hanggang October. How can we help parents or teachers or the learner, no, adjust, adapt to the present situation? And parang nagiging yung pagtuturo ng parents, nagiging psychosocial intervention eh, kasi yung pressures ng economic, medyo ma-manage ng konti kasi titignan niya yung success niya sa pagtuturo niya sa anak niya. So may opportunity ding lumalabas doon. Not really a negative picture, more like a positive, no? Positive picture. Yung horizon eh, gaano kalayo mga makikita to, saan mag-meet yung land and sky. Parang ganun yung hinaharap nating lahat when we work together. So together nga, we see a world, no? Where we all come together, yun sa Rotary. So sana, yun ang ating ma-achieve together. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Marge. May I now request Raisa, she prepared a slide that contains some action pathways, no, for Rotary clubs. And from there, she will have a special sharing. We have a surprise resource person whom I'm sure will inspire all of us. So Raisa, can you show your slide?
Okay, so as you see in this slide, no, when people registered for this town hall, we asked them to share their thoughts and feelings about the school year. No? Hopefully, after today, after everybody that you've heard, that you feel a little bit more confident right now and determined, no? And we also did a survey of the Rotary clubs in terms of what some of them are doing right now, and these are some of them, some of the examples. Okay, now it's not moving. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, it's on.
Okay, there. So as this is what was mentioned by Principal Myla kanina, no? So there's one club, Makati Legazpi, that has started a donation drive for gadgets, which will benefit all the Parañaque public schools, no? And then we also have a club. Actually, it's a sister club of one of the clubs in our district that has this sister club that's based in Pampanga was able to get some international grants, and they're actually, it's quite interesting. They have an offline learning management system, which they call Classroom on a Drive or Class Drive, wherein you can have access also to learning materials using TV, phone, and laptop, and no internet is needed. No, so that's one thing that club in Pampanga is doing. We also have. So from this slide, you can see that a number of clubs are doing different things, no? And it just depends on your budget. Kung gusto niyo Wi-Fi lang, you can still contribute on Wi-Fi. If you want to help on the portable storage devices like the USB and hard drives, that schools still need that. You can also provide equipment. Like for instance, the One Palawan Club donated a Riso machine. Importante yan sa pag-xerox ng mga learning materials na on print. And then of course the usual mga laptops, printers, cell phones, etc. There's also a club that paid for the mahal rin mag-print, di ba? So they also took charge of printing these modules. Kaya lang yung problema lang talaga natin, we're probably destroying I don't know how many trees with all of this printing, but wala tayong choice in the meantime. So I think it's also mentioned by Principal Myla kanina that they also got a donation from Makati South for learning packets, and Makati San Antonio did the same thing for the grades 1 and 2 students in their adopted school. And then also, there's also one club, Las Piñas, which ito naman medyo iba, outside the program, sa ALS naman. So alternative learning system sa mga jailmates natin in Las Piñas. And then this is also interesting, Makati McKinley, they also, this one naman is very focused. This is naman is on the blind, wherein they also provided software and training for the teachers and provided technology to convert materials for Braille. So parang we're really doing a lot of things in the educational space. So I hope everybody feels better after today. So let me ask Rina to share our surprise message. I will stop share. Okay, Rina, can you share?
Yeah, here it is.
I congratulate my Rotary District 3830 for coming up with this distance learning program for our parents and for our teachers. These are very difficult times. I'm sure you know that. Our lives have already been disrupted. But more than that, our teachers and our parents are very anxious. They have a lot of fears about the coming school year. And that's exactly what I'd like to address in very simple terms. First, a message to our teachers. At the end of the day, we can learn all our skills and upgrade all our competencies. But always make sure that you trust your instincts. You know your students. You know what is best for them. You have worked with them for years. Have the learner at the center of every decision, every move, and you will never, ever go wrong. You can always trust that within you is the power to touch them in their minds and in their hearts. Trust your instincts, my beloved teachers. For our parents, I have a very simple message. Learning happens only when there is trust and there is love. In fact, no learning ever happens unless those two are part of that whole landscape. Beloved parents, you trust your own children, you love them, and they do the same for you. At the end of the day, make sure that these are the two foundations where you will start this school year. Whatever trust is created, then learning happens. Every bonding session, every interaction with them can become a lifetime lesson that they will never forget. Beloved parents, at the end of the day, trust your heart. Whatever happens this school year, believe that you have the power within you to transform your anxieties and your fears. All of those in this pandemic to become an opportunity to rename our world and to reimagine what this new world would need to look like. Trust your instincts, trust your heart. You can never, ever go wrong. Good luck.
Okay, thank you. That was Brother Armin Luistro, former Education Secretary. And he reminds us, trust your instincts, trust your heart, trust and love, and you will never go wrong. So let's call on our perfect vision governor, who reminds us always to lead with a Rotarian heart Governor Chacha Camacho for the closing remarks. Governor?
Thank you very much, Gov. Sunny. Thank you very much, Raisa. Well, the COVID-19 has resulted in schools shut all across the world. Globally, over 1.2 billion children are out of the classroom. And to fight the spread of the coronavirus and maintain healthy social distancing, schools across the country have temporarily closed and now transitioning from on-campus face-to-face learning to blended distance learning, as we learned from our panelists this afternoon. As a result, education has really changed dramatically. Although there are many challenges, many problems, many fears, research suggests that online learning has been shown to increase retention of information, take less time, and other benefits as shared by PP Michelle, meaning the changes that coronavirus have caused in our education might be here to stay. So thank you very much to the ones who thought of this, conceptualized this, for the opportunity to discuss what this temporary transition in response to the current COVID-19 pandemic could mean for the future of education in the Philippine setting, its planning, its design, and the future of our children and grandchildren. I commend these efforts in our, to find ways to bolster the capabilities of our educators and school administrators and owners and our parents in tutoring their own children, and an effort to find ways on what we can do to make it better. And so with all this menu of projects that we were introduced to, I hope you, the club presidents, you go back to your clubs, discuss it with your members, and decide how and where you will help, so that we Rotarians and our Rotary clubs can now implement concrete action steps that will really result in significant and measurable impact to help make things better. We heard from Rina the programs of the Knowledge Channel, and she even has the amounts from AHA and from the Rotary Club of Makati's My First Teacher. So please discuss it, go back to your clubs, discuss it with your members, and see where you can help and where you would like to help. So thank you again to our panelists, Rotarian Rina Lopez Bautista, Rotarian J. Maravilla. Perhaps you can spearhead this in among the 8 Palawan clubs, Jay. Rotarian Neri also, Principal Myla, Jayton, Zulweta, of course, our district, DGSC Mabel Esteban. So those who would like to repurpose their district grants and make it more focused and make it more relevant, you can just go to Mabel. Mabel, right? I'm putting you on the spot now. And of course, our past president, Reggie Nolido, CP Danny Karandang, past president Michelle Padrelanan. Thank you very much. And of course, our moderators, PDG Sani Coloma and PP Marge Lamberte. Marge, thank you for bringing this up in our chat group. And now, I think it was very productive. I learned a lot myself. And to the organizers, our Deputy Coordinating Chair for Community Service, Raisa Hechanova Posadas, and our Rotary Academy Executive Director, Charlotte Cruz. Thank you very much. And to all those who participated today, thank you very much. And I hope we can really make things better. Good evening.
Thank you. Thank you, Governor Chacha. Thank you, everybody. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you so much. Congratulations, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Rina, for sharing, Michelle. Thank you, everyone.
Fantastic programs, everyone.
Very much. Bye. Thank you.